Hi everyone, so this was a game I was playing just over a week ago. Lasted about 10 days, 10, 11 days. Um, it's a 8-player game, first to 200 Neptunium. Just thought I would put a little video together because I thought it was kind of interesting the way it all played out. A few things were frustrating, a few things were absolutely miraculous. So I started off, what I normally do is I check everyone's records to see, who's the danger players and who's new, who might be able to take advantage of a bit better than others. And this person right next to me, Metatron 3000, they had a record of 3 games and 3 wins. So straight away I was a bit wary, so reached out to them straight away to kind of have a non-aggression, maybe an alliance of sorts, till I can kind of gauge what they're going to do and find out how best to turn against them. Multiple times throughout the game, I tried to get others to join in to take them out. Just didn't seem that anyone really wanted to go for it. I guess they were too worried. I mean, he did get very powerful very quickly with an early admiral, and he was dominating the game. But at one point, I tried to get every remaining player to turn against him because he had just so much more than everyone else, and it just wasn't happening. Anyway, so things start as they normally do, and everyone just kind of has a big rush for all the territories. So he was very lucky, got an early navigator straight away to admiral, and then we had kind of agreed he would stick to going to the south and I would kind of go to the north, and we kind of stayed out of each other's way for quite a while. Early days I started going against USA over here, and JS Squared was doing the same sort of thing. We just kept pushing him, and a little bit of diplomacy from my side here and there, and I tried to convince him to gift me a few things to turn against someone else, and of course that was never going to happen with him being so weak. He wasn't really much of a use at that point, so just pushed against him to get his land, and he tried to rush off, and then once his queen went down here, I had my pirate come and take it out. I wasn't sure whether Red was going to gift him the spot and let him keep it and maybe just farm specialists off him or something else. But I got that there, and he ended up... where was his other specialists? He had a bunch that went up here. Ended up being gifted at the last moment, so he picked up Red, even though they already had quite a good lead. Picked up extra pirate and navigator, and that's not the only person who gifted them stuff, unfortunately. So you can see up here also had a tycoon. So with the amount of land that Red was getting, it was becoming apparent it was going to be pretty hard to stop. And at this point I could see he's amassing a little force down near my southern boundary, and I thought, well, this isn't looking too good. Sent him a message, and he said, no, I'm not attacking you, but of course that doesn't mean anything. I played that trick on someone else earlier in the game. So the guy who was here, Ginger God, I was kind of feeding him a little bit of information. Hadn't really had any sort of alliance with him, but as Red was pushing against him pretty hard from both sides at that point, because he'd gone pretty much the whole way around, he gifted me a bunch of stuff, which was very handy, because I certainly was going to need it with Red just amassing us an almighty force. So as things continued, pretty much what I expected happened. Red came at me from all sides, and I basically I attacked a little bit here, but I'm not sure why. With his admiral, there wasn't much I could really do to outmaneuver him. So from that point, I just basically went into full-on retreat mode. Just put everything back, as much as I could. So if I can't outmaneuver him, then I've just got to have enough drillers to hold him off. And at this point, I'm just kind of thinking, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to beat him. I'm just going to have to hold up and hope that enough other people drop off that maybe I'll snatch a place or something miraculous will happen. Of course, I'm still trying to talk to the other players about teaming up against him, but no one's having a piece of it. In fact, J. Squared, who had previously sort of allied with me against USA, also had started attacking me. So I've dropped off some troops up to stop his little attack, which worked pretty well, just kind of delayed him. And I've just got a bunch of specialists sitting here just waiting to kind of repel all these attacks that are coming at me. You can see right here there's over 400 troops coming at me from different directions, including pirates and assassins and things. So thankfully at this point I've got a hypnotist. I've got a captured at USA's queen and got a princess, so my sentry's doing a bit of extra damage to all these subs that are coming in. So at this point there's only one thing to do. King's normally best when you're on the offensive, not the defensive, but at this point it was really the only play I could do. So they launched from Poseidon with about 180 troops and basically absorb that entire lot and end up with more troops than I started with, thanks to the thief and the engineer. And then get rid of that 145 in a similar way. And basically at this point I'm pretty safe as far as not being able to get killed anytime soon. It doesn't look like they've got too much that can take me out. But then a miracle really happens. He ends up getting a diplomat to try to get a couple of his captured specialists back, because I'm about to capture his assassin and pirate. And so seeing that, I launch to take that out because I'm not too happy with that happening. And I think at the same time, well, maybe I'll maybe fake an attack on his queen and go for his mine, or see what happens, see if I can make something interesting happen. So I just put a heap of troops on there as well. And then what does he do? He moves his queen. Where does he move it to? Somewhere far away. And I've got a navigator on my sub. Bam. I just lock on. Even though this is completely out of the fog of war, and I just thinking I'm within the fog of war, and so I can't see anything that's going on. And I'm assuming there's probably a pirate and an assassin or something waiting to take all my guys out. Or a pirate and a martyr probably. But he's sending me messages saying he's got nothing. And his ally, which was JS Squared, he's sending me messages saying, what's going on? Are you guys about to attack me? He's telling me that he needs all these troops, and basically Red at this point just started making mines, and you can see he was getting pretty close. He got it within 24 hours of winning, but too little too late, unfortunately. So even though he's got pretty much a huge part of the game board, it's just a massive advantage, I managed to take him out. And then what does he do? He gifts practically everything to JS Squared. He drops shields on pretty much everything he's got nearby that he could take over. And he's also got a heap of mines that JS Squared can just easily take off. So it's a bit of a disappointment that I can't really see what's going on in the fog too much, because obviously even though I've taken out his queen, I don't have any outposts in the area. And my thoughts were that, if I go to an outpost right nearby, he might have set up a huge amount of drillers or some sort of trap there to try to get me. So what I do is I set my navigator. I see that there's a bunch of gifts coming down to a couple of his spots down here, so I use my navigator to kind of fake that I'm going somewhere else, and then hit Tyrion. Then I can see what's going on. But at this point, He's going to win in 30 hours. He's got a heap of drillers coming as gifts, a heap of specialists. I've got to hit mines. I've got to hit the gifts. I could grab the gifts. I could have got all the gifts very easily, but if I had got that, the game would be over anyway. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have split the pirate and the navigator. My only chance was to go for his queen, but he's got a helmsman there as well, so he could have just kept running for as long as he wanted until the time ran out as well. Meanwhile, blue, he just kind of sat there. He didn't really do much all game. And I'm telling him at this point, we've got to attack him. We've got to go straight at his mines. We've got to go and attack him. And all he did was send this one martyr, which did absolutely nothing. Just blew up. Everything else, he's just kind of pulls his men together to ends up building another mine. Whereas I'm here, I'm scooping up gifts. I'm hitting mines. I did as much as I could, but just ran out of time in the end. So yeah, it's a bit of a disappointing end to get that awesome player to take out the guy who was dominating the game, but then just to have him gift everything away and basically give a guy first place who really didn't do a lot in the game. But that's how it works. Diplomacy can win you the game. You don't have to be the one who's doing the main things if you can sit back and ally with the right people. But he would have been guaranteed second if I hadn't made that move. And once I got it, I tried to push him. I say, why settle for second? Let's go against him and try to get first. But I don't know. Seemed a bit strange to have someone that was very content just to sit there and do nothing and just get second. But I don't know. I guess I'm always playing to win no matter what the situation is. And blue, I think it might have been his first game, so I guess it can be excused that he wasn't quite on the ball as far as what he needed to do to win. So yeah, that was that game. So I ended up scraping into third because I didn't have with Fiedler just building mines and not trying to take out the guy who was winning. I didn't have any with the man. I was just defending myself. There's nothing much else I could do. So yeah, that was it.